Welcome to the new employee orientation. Congratulations on your new position. Did you know the Department of the Air Force employs thousands of civilians just like you to keep the Department of the Air Force powerful and effective? We all raise our right hand and take the oath of office that signifies a personal commitment and willingness to serve our nation as part of the Department of the Air Force. Civilians have been around since the beginning of air power and the origins of the United States Air Force. We support and sustain the Department of the Air Force mission out of uniform, making up 1/3 of the total force, working with active duty, Guard, Reserve Airmen, and United States Space Force Guardians to defend and protect our nation. Watch this video about what that oath truly means as a Department of the Air Force civilian.
There have always been civilians in the Air Force, right there with us, side by side, at home and deployed. We wore the uniform, and they didn't. But they took that oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Chances are that oath means more to them than anybody can imagine. We're all part of the team. They could have taken their skills anywhere, but they brought them to the Air Force. Some of them have been here longer than us, and they'll be here when we've moved on. They're the ones with lifetimes of experience. They're the ones with fresh-faced enthusiasm, patriotism. They're the ones who are here to be part of something bigger than themselves, to serve their country and lead in any way they can. Are they airmen? Some are separated or retired. Some came in through an intern program or basic federal employment opportunity. Some were Marines, Army, Navy, Coast Guard. A lot of them do what we do, better. They do it for the same reason we do. Country. A team is not the people you work with. A team is the people you trust. Ask any airman what the civilian's purpose in the Air Force is, and you might hear that civilians are here to provide know-how and support. And just about every airman would tell you that civilians aren't just part of the team, they're a critical part of the team. So think about this. If everybody on a team supports each other, how are we supporting them? Simple. With our respect. This is for all you civilians watching this. The electricians, the defenders, engineers, childcare, instructors, logistics, finance, human resources, all 180,000 men and women without whom this Air Force would grind to a halt in a split second. You, our civilians. You may not stand at attention, but you stand for everything that is good and right about this country. You may not wear the uniform, but you do wear the mission. You are part of this team. You embody our core values, and there's such a thing as respect. We are never required to salute civilians, but we are allowed to. So we salute you. We thank you.
Let's briefly learn a bit about the men and women you will be joining. Civilians come from a variety of ethnicities. 47% are veterans, but 53% are new to the Department of the Air Force way of life. If you find yourself in this second demographic, we especially encourage you to take the time to explore all the resources provided in this course, as it will help you acculturate to your new organization. The Air Force has 22 career fields, but 60% of civilians will be in these 5. We play critical roles in intelligence, weapons development, supply, education, and many support functions. According to the book, Mission Essential Department of the Air Force Civilians provides specialized support and continuity. How did the Department of the Air Force come to be? We were part of the Army called the Army Air Corps until 1947 when the Department of the Air Force was established. Since 1947, the United States Air Force has been a critical component of every conflict, humanitarian mission, and military presence around the globe. In 2019, the Space Force was added to the Department of the Air Force, making it the first new branch of the armed services in over 70 years. 1/3 of the Department of the Air Force is made up of federal civilian service employees, just like you. Federal service began in 1789, but the merit system we consider a hallmark of federal service didn't become official until 1883. Since then, further laws have been put in place to improve the working conditions of civilians, to include equal pay, health benefits, and rules governing labor management relations. In the resources section of this module, you'll further explore the history of the civil service and how it has been shaped since it was first formed in 1789. The primary goal of the civil service system has been, and continues to be, to ensure that appointments to government jobs are based on merit and ability, as determined through a competitive process. The principles of civil service specify that the most qualified person to be appointed to the job, and that appointments are not based on any other factors such as political activity or patronage, and that incumbents are protected from the political whims of elected officials. Speaking of being shaped, civilians are held to high standards bound by Department of Defense Civilian Conduct and Ethics Regulation and the Department of the Air Force's Conduct and Responsibility. Please take the next 30 minutes to an hour to read through the resources provided to support this module. Feel free to choose those resources that best apply to you, as well as those that best expand your knowledge of what it means to be a Department of the Air Force civilian. We at the Civilian Leadership Development School would like to thank you for joining the Department of the Air Force team. Welcome aboard! We are proud to serve with you.